having a 𝐈𝐄𝐄𝐅 is one answer to that, because he's always a threat. Like, his damage, even if he doesn't have any of these early kills, like, the damage still has to be respected, just the way his mechanics work, right? And having that champion stance and everything else, the passive knockout strikes. Yeah, so this is great, right? Clint's going to be picked up here. You have a little bit of defense on you, but like I was saying, you can protect the gold lane. How do you do it? One of the ways to do it, aside from peeling for him, is just having this type of hero, a 𝐈𝐄𝐄𝐅, that is a threat for the majority of the game.
Yeah, you have good rotation, you got good backline entry. Now, they might be forced to answer with a Claude, either a Melissa or even an 𝐈𝐄𝐄𝐅, but by just having the coverage of a threat of an 𝐈𝐄𝐄𝐅 by using the Astral Echo and Astral Recall, you might want to have that extra movement speed that you can actually use if your Franco gets a pick off for you. But for the side of this decision-making of Saudi Arabia, they would want to secure their early game. If they're up against a Clint, you might want to pair it with something that could level up with the scaling. Would you rely on damage? Would you rely on items? But now they rely on the 𝐈𝐄𝐄𝐅. Movement speed, there you go.
Movement speed is what they want to go with. Not only that, but they go with the Edith too in the XP lane. And, you know, funnily enough, I'm wondering exactly the build path for this Edith, because we saw it in the hands of 𝐈𝐄𝐄𝐅 earlier, and he had an interesting build, and we'll see if he actually goes with that Starlium Scythe on this Edith this time.
Yep.
But interesting. I like the lineup. And also with Philippines, it's getting tankier, right? They pick up the 𝐈𝐄𝐅, it's left open here. And at the same time, you have to wonder, right, how do you counterplay around this if you're Saudi Arabia? Well, you mentioned momentum and speed and also pick-off potential. If you can get a numbers advantage, you have equally the great amount of durability and CC if you're Saudi Arabia. We'll see if they can pull it off. They just have to counterplay some of the vision provided with this Novaria pick.
The Edith, though, another follow-up for AoE knockup, and as well as the Onward. Not to mention the Primal Wrath's Rage, plus having a magic burst on the back line. This gives you a lot of potential to poke early game and as well as rotate. Having level 2 and level 3 on this Edith can aid your tank so much, even rotate faster and have a slow on your enemy jungler's camp. So by this time around, I think they're amping up their early game. Yeah. Saudi Arabia has eyes on having a great jumpstart progress. But for the side of Philippines right now, having the Clint is such a good answer as well for this 𝐈𝐄𝐄𝐅. Maintaining the lane, having aid for the 𝐈𝐄𝐅, and you mentioned about the stance of a 𝐈𝐄𝐄𝐅. Let's see. It's the first game now in the semifinals. It's Saudi Arabia versus Philippines. We have a bit of a peek here onto the river. We're looking at two roams. We're looking at 𝐈𝐄𝐄𝐅 and we're looking at 𝐶ROL, denying entry for this Franco, and 𝐈𝐄𝐒 secures that purple just for himself.
Look at the pressure here. I mean, even just from Canon right into Tarzan's jungle, just making it uncomfortable for him, right? They wanted to get that retribution out. They did that. And as I was mentioning yesterday, when we saw Canon playing this 𝐈𝐄𝐄𝐅, it was an amazing performance. He's looking to pretty much do the same thing here for this matchup against Sanji in the lane. So at this point, once again, pretty simple back and forth. Little poking for these guys here in the XP lane, but that's what you can expect. Duking it out, punching it out, leading into that first turtle later on.
Love the emblems here for the Philippines, having two concussive blasts present as well as the quantum charge. Having an early game advantage of HP-based AoE is one more way to sustain the pokes out of 𝐶ROL and as well as Sanji. If you want to have a great fight up against a Fredid, you don't want to get taunted, you want to get being caught up in a trap, and as well as you want to have that follow-up in the right time, such as this. Look at that, Canon and Sanji. We have the XP lane matchup on our cameras. We have 25 seconds for the first objective to show, but the action continues to brew up top there. Looking by the attention of the gold lanes, four members up top.
Those jump in, first blood already claimed. Tarzan gonna fall, 𝐶ROL has to flicker out. The rest of the team making their way there. The first blood in the hands of 𝐈𝐄𝐿 on this Baksha. And look at the cuts too happening here from Canon. They're preparing for that turtle. So he cut the wave. 𝐈𝐄𝐄𝐅 now making his way there to the turtle. They're going to set this up, right? Level 4 is also coming online. Sanji going to get spotted out, has to flicker out defensively, not going to want to get caught here. 𝐈𝐄𝐄𝐅 going to go ahead and charge up with the Rage Revenge combination. Doesn't have the ultimate just yet, does get hooked. He will go down here, taking the brunt of the damage, falls to Sanji. Now Canon getting in play, 𝐈𝐄𝐿 trying to get his role here. He's gonna get locked down a little bit. Tarzan claims the turtle. Big pickup, and now they're gonna go ahead and focus 𝐈𝐿 down. A couple hits away. Canon comes in with a punch. Still gonna be looking for another. Somehow gets another kill there, but it will be a bloodbath. Turtle secured for Saudi Arabia, plus a couple kills. Cannon
Whoa,
and
so close, Arcangel.
Oh, so close.
That point, messy, but that's just Saudi Arabia taking the first objective out of the hands of Saison. Look at that, the hook from Troll.
That was a nice toss-up.
He stunned 𝐈𝐄𝐄𝐅, looking for an avenue to even stun 4 members using Titan's Revenge, was completely denied right onto his face. By looking at the coverage of this turtle bit, Tarzan has a clear way of utilizing that retribution. It was on point, on par with the damage, although this is the threat of the 𝐈𝐄𝐄𝐅 getting through a clapback, but it wasn't enough just yet. Also, it was a way for the peel for the Philippines to go back to their base.
Okay, Primal Wrath used here. Cannon gonna get poked down a little bit by Sanji. Has to respect that damage once that Primal Form's gonna be used. Hold on, meanwhile in the jungle, cross-map play. Troll gonna be quite low here. They gotta wait a little bit longer. He's not where he needs to be. The flicker comes through. 𝐈𝐄𝐄𝐅 still on the run. Will get taken out by 𝐈𝐄𝐄, been able to pick up the kill. Nice pickup for Saudi Arabia. They've got the fight in them. And now it's even across the board, gold and kill-wise. Saudi Arabia sticking it to the Philippines right now, keeping it there with them. Cannon, very aggressive. This is what he likes to do in the 𝐈𝐄𝐄𝐅. But Saudi Arabia, they're doing it. They're holding their own against the Philippines.
Impressive rotation for Troll. Gotta hand it to him. Utilizing the focusing mark on those 3 members for Saudi Arabia gives so much. Even though that's a bit of an attribute for your magic and attack damage, for the defense of Philippines right now, having a rocket and a quantum charge is a bit of a big effect. Look at that.
Troll once again, nice hook. He gets the hook off, but not able to get the kill. 𝐸𝐿 survives. Now Lark's going to be in trouble. Firing off from the back. That could have gone way worse there. Again, a great attempt from Troll. He used the flicker and the hook. Could have been way worse for him, but now turns out they just put their eyes on this turtle. Should be able to claim it once again. The bloody hunt's going to come down. They're looking for a kill. 𝐈𝐄𝐄𝐅 only can provide information, but Tarzan, king of the jungle, able to secure the second turtle.
Catching 𝐈𝐄𝐄𝐅 again. Finding the setup, struggling to find a set for Philippines right now. Despite what's happening, the lead is just by 100, despite a gold. And boy, for the progress of Cannon right now, even for Saison. We have Molten Essence now showing up for 𝐸𝐿 as well. Let's check how he's been doing. He has Berserker's Fury, he has Boots now to even move freely. So the critical chance, even attack damage, could actually be beneficial for Philippines, but they need more than that. Look at that poke onto Tarzan, still being able to survive that pokes and damage. Being on the sustain though, Saudi Arabia maintaining the rotation onto their gold lane. They have, and they want to Lark, have the best time. The complete gold lane experience, as you say.
Yeah, and to get to that point, I love what Saudi Arabia is doing, right? For the most part, it's on the whims of these hooks from Troll. Tarzan controlling his jungle the best way he can. Just then, he got his purple buff stolen by Saison, though. So he's got to keep it together, right? He has been winning these objectives, though. He's got 2 turtles early game. If he can secure the 3rd one, that's a great start once again for Saudi Arabia into the Lords later on. Now the focus, look at the flicker come through. 𝐈𝐄𝐄𝐅 able to get the rage off. Comes Cannon, able to get the kill. Troll will fall. Now Tarzan and Lark on the run. Still going to be going. Cannon 1-2 punch. Looking for the follow-up here. Waiting for the damage, but won't be able to find it. 𝐸𝐿 might be looking for that follow-up, but won't be able to snipe them off. Had the vision. And now back to the mid lane. They're going to go ahead and reset 30 seconds away from the next objective, but the turret in the bottom lane will fall.
Finally, steel leg plates present for 𝐈𝐄𝐄𝐅, able to respond to deflect that basic attack damage coming from an 𝐈𝐿. A good chance, finally had a good set for Philippines right there. That is the coverage you can do as a Cooper. Bounce around the bushes, check and paces for Saudi Arabia where they might be, because in this 3rd turtle, Philippines would want to take this. It has been 2 objectives being stolen by Tarzan. Saudi Arabia gaining control over the B-line, and as well as defense right now. It's quite strong, but on to the advantage of the gold as well. Philippines on the lead. A hook again. The Troll landing it though.
Hook gonna land. There's the onward. They get the flip off too. Still working on this turtle. Not gonna be able to contest it just yet. Saison trying to get in position. Cannon there too. Tarzan gets it though somehow. Can they find the kills they're looking for? 𝐈𝐄𝐄𝐅 waiting to see what's gonna happen here. Nice shot. Troll will fall. Pick up for pickup. 1 for 1. Still gonna be unleashing. Cannon looking for an angle here. Has that fully stacked bar. The champ stance. No follow-up kill just yet. And it's a 1 for 1. The turtles though, OSX secured 3 for Saudi Arabia here.
Still, Saudi Arabia winning that objective. Troll used the flicker on to 𝐈𝐄𝐅. How do you manage to have a great calculation and precision on that retribution? There were 4 members, 3 was just looking at him, stunned, all the taunts dropping down right in his face. A bit of a problem, and as well as how do you even manage to sustain, even get out of that threat? Completely taking out the jungler steal or even retribution by Philippines. Wow, managing to have that kind of vision coverage. A different team, again, a growth day by day. Saudi Arabia. Still, Philippines managing to secure the over 2.5K.
We just take note here too. Saudi Arabia holding their own 8 minutes into the game against the Philippines, a team that we saw very dominant yesterday, winning in 11 minutes per game against Indonesia. Now Saudi Arabia has to prepare for this. Sanji going to be the target. There's the rage, the setup. That's too many here. He will fall on the top side. All this, a pickoff for the Philippines. Now looking for the next. Troll trying to set up here, keeping an eye on where they're going. Again, Tier 2 is the target in this top lane.
This is the growing threat right now of Philippines just being in the mid-game. Having a bit amount of skill for 𝐈𝐄𝐅, even items for 𝐈𝐄𝐄, you might want to get those tankier items, and as we see, he has to read an armor, he has more ways to deflect the poke of Coffin as well as Sanji by the Primal Wrath ultimate. So this right now, they're buying more time. By the pickup of Lightning Truncheon by 𝐈𝐄𝐄 here, advantage for the poke, and advantage as well for a bit of a cooldown. Looking at the movement speed right here, he's looking for the scaling attributes that we see a staple build for Navaria, but that time, they were eyeing on a great setup. They're building towards their momentum heading into ultra late game. This is just the time of Philippines that they need to have an established defense against Saudi Arabia. Meanwhile, 2 men spotted though, Sanji and Troll.
Lord half health here. Inigo going to go in. Defines 2 with rage, able to hold them back. Meanwhile, Lord's going to be secured by 𝐈𝐿. Still looking for the kills. They're on the retreat though. Saudi Arabia losing Tarzan. They can't fight this. Philippines, this is where they shine though. The macro play. Saudi Arabia has held the early to that mid-game very well, but it's slowly but surely slipping out of their favor into the Philippines' hands here.
Don't blink. Almost 5K gold lead on to the Philippines right now. 10 minutes in. Manages to take that Lord. Yes, they lost all the turtles, they lost all the trades, but into the objectives and as clears, they have eye mostly on the defenses of Saudi Arabia. Little that they know, they only have 5 turrets left in their own base, and now they're being pushed to defend.
Inigo charging up here. He's going to find the target once again. 2 members into the rage. Look at the hook, though. They pull him back into the base here. 𝐈𝐿 in trouble. Will fall under the turret. It was a response from Saudi Arabia. They have to work on this Lord on the top side. They'll lose a couple turrets, Tier 2, mid and bottom. But they have a response from the Philippines. They are the ones responding right now, but at least able to find something.
Yeah, Troll extending the way and the length of this hook again. We've seen it time and time again, landing the perfect hooks, landing the perfect flickers. As the mindset right now goes around, Troll probably wants to make a play here. Having to make a play out of Philippines frontline and backline is so beneficial that they need so much of a damage and of a kill. By looking at the items in progress here, Clint, on the other hand, we're looking at 𝐈𝐿𝐄𝐄's build. Berserker's Fury, Endless Battles, as well as Malefic Roar. Damage penetration, activated basic attack hits, and as well as amplified movement speed. Freely, he can be safe around the map, he can be safe around the back line, but you need to also be aware of where the hooks will be landing from. Knowing that the Coffin rather, has Lightning Truncheon and Magic Shoes, we have cooldown reduction imminent, but one thing you need to consider here is the deflect damage and armor of an Edith. You have the Dominance Ice, you have the Athena Shield, and you have the Blade Armor. Freely deflecting basic attacks of a Clint, but that at the moment that you want to have an established or a precise attack on the Philippines lineup, they need to secure who they want to pick. Is it 𝐈𝐿𝐄 or will it be 𝐈𝐿? Rolling in deep here on the enemy territory, Philippines.
Good pickup there, Lark. Getting the Hospaz finally here, helping with some of the sustainability. Look at the top side, though. They're actually chasing down 𝐈𝐿𝐄. They won't be able to catch him, though. So able to survive that. Now, the biggest thing that stuck out to me when you were breaking down the items there, OSX, was actually the fact that, once again, 𝐈𝐿𝐄 on this Paquito is built for damage, right? The last item he picked up was the Malefic Roar. And that's why I'm saying it's so hard, because even if you focus, even if Troll can get a target, right? If it's 𝐸𝐿𝐄, they still have to deal with this Paquito in the hands of 𝐈𝐿𝐄, locked and loaded, right? He's pretty much pure damage for the most part. He might have a little bit of defense here. but still, that is a problem for them. So that's why you're seeing Rectiano pretty much safely farm up, do his thing until later on in the point of the game where he is the one that actually gets to provide a lot of that damage, and Canon is just there to either clean up or start things off for the team here. Now that this Lord is up, we'll see where they go. Conceal play going to come through. Troll could be in trouble. Inigo going to jump in. They follow up with the Rage. Sanji and Tarzan trying to cut them off. He will go in with the Onward and the Flicker. Rectiano in trouble. Look at the cannon, though. Goes in on the back line. Takes too many hits. Will fall. Biting off a little bit more than he could chew. 1 down for the Philippines. 2 for Saudi Arabia. But can they take the Lord here? It's a little bit too much. Jungler for Philippines still up. It's a little risky if Tarzan goes for this.
Yeah, they have the retribution present for Team Philippines. They have more ways of answering this. They just need to pull it on their side, as Saison is doing. Meanwhile, we're looking at Saudi Arabia looking for an advantage to have a retribution skill battle here. Uniga as well, good positioning. Now the ultimate has been taken by Coffin. We are about to see 2 Tyrants Rages and Tyrants Revenge right onto the set. But looking at this, holding down the jungler
once
just
again,
at this moment.
Gets the lockup with the Rage. Rectiano taking quite a few hits. Lord's going to be secured though, but Lark finally unleashing on this Irithyll. Helps out, get a kill. Coffin hasn't died yet on this Valentina, providing quite a bit of damage. They know the Lord has been secured here, but they're still going to try to get at least a turret, work around it. Troll, looks like he used the conceal, but not going to be able to find a target.
Yep, also cooldown onto this Flicker, and still Coffin is holding on to the ultimate of a 𝐒𝐄𝐅. Might as well get this additional extra catch or even hold, because at the time they were looking for even catching Cannon. Yes, they have an answer on taking 1 out of the change when they're trying to get ahead or trying to get a steal with the Lord, but looking back on how they wanted to utilize more of the items, they only picked up 3 items when they all fall down. This time around, they were probably building up something to have a counter with the damage. But just by looking at the progress of Saudi Arabia, looking at Franco alone, Dominus Ice, and also Rapid Boots, gets him ahead. But there was some sort of hesitation there, going for even an entry back then when the Lord's being taken by Philippines.
Again, we'll see how this plays out. Right, Lord going to go ahead and charge up into the turret. They've got to be on the defense here. You heard the conceal come through. Look at the shots coming from 𝐈𝐄𝐄𝐅 here with the Astral Recall. Yes, and that is a threat alone, just the poke, right?
Wow.
From the Archangel.
Wow. Wow, I'm proud of you, man. You said it. And just by looking at the foes at 𝐈𝐄𝐄𝐅 there, being deathless has a great amount of poke, a great amount of burst, but this moment right now, 16 minutes in, this is where he shines. Ice Queen 1, you have the Lightning Truncheon, scaled up attributes, you have magic penetration presence. Building up to the final second last item would be beneficial for him to actually get ahead of the burst. Look at that, landing all those
They're gonna go for it. Tarzan caught out. Look at the hook though! Able to find them. There's the Bloody Hunt. They're gonna go ahead and trade. Immortality will be popped, but Cannon goes in the backside. Unigo trying to help salvage this situation here. They lose 2. Saison not done yet. Gonna force them back. Coffin goes in with his own copy of the Rage. They're going at it. 1 left. Troll left to his own devices. Is it enough? It's only a Franco. We get the close-up zoom-in shot. It's 1 versus 4. Can he keep the game together? It does not look like he can. Franco man can't do it. Philippines will take game number 1 in this upper bracket match in the best of 3.
And just you thought they lost the early game. Composition.
Is it this roam roll? Is it the XP lane? We've seen it different variations of even Edith being built, right? The item build, itemization here for Edith has changed up even throughout this playoffs alone. So great here. I think this still serves the purpose, OSX, for Troll.
Catch.
Yeah, like his job is still the same. It's just on this Edith this time. He's going to be going for the 1-2 combinations, right? And at the same time, I'm wondering, because the last time, again, we saw Edith, they built pretty much pure roam tanky type, and we've also seen a more aggressive type Edith build. But we'll see exactly how they want to play around that. I think they've covered their bases for the most part, though. And
it's
I
not
think,
so bad.
Yeah, it's not so bad.
Level 1 and 2, you get a knockup, you get more of a bit of a CC. It's there, man. Up against a Franco, you would need that.
Is it enough, though? Is it
Early
enough
game?
to actually do what you did the first game, but then take it through the mid to late?
You can hold, you can aid, but now Cannon, okay, not getting into the jungle, bro. Maintaining EXP lane now remains with Cannon. Now it's Philippines onto the match point. Will Saudi Arabia get a point out of this undefeated team. Will this be the final challenge of Philippines stepping foot in the grand finals?
Okay, you know, this is still what's on the line here for Philippines. Of course, they want to stay undefeated. They want to make their way to the grand finals here. Getting the close-up shot of 𝐈𝐄𝐄𝐅 once again. Loving the skins, by the way. And also the viewers watching online, make sure you grab the codes because they're giving out a bunch of skins for you guys watching. Now, mid lane. They have to, again, as they go through the rotations here, right? As they go through the rotation, as they try to find exactly where they want to find the first blood. It looks like it might even be up here. 𝐈𝐄𝐄𝐅, the focus. Has a little bit of armor left. Look at how many members are up here. Unigo going to take quite a bit of damage. Terrified's there. Flickers out, able to survive. Wow, that could have been great for Saudi Arabia to get that first blood, but they couldn't capitalize on it.
This answers your question earlier. Is the knock-up enough? Is the damage enough with Edith alone and 𝐈𝐄𝐄𝐅 alone? Well, they are forced to rotate from that position, and they lost the wave. As that moment, 𝐈𝐄𝐄𝐅 secures a minion wave for himself, amplifying his XP ahead of a Valentina. So at that point, yes, early game you have a defense, you have an advantage for poke, but not with the damage. They do not want to overcommit those kinds of attacks against Philippines right now because they're maintaining the objectives. But having the vision and hold by controlling this mid lane gives them a greater setup for getting the first objective of the game.
Poke not going to land that time. Troll going in with the onward, the 1-2, focusing on 𝐈𝐄𝐿 here. Turtle now up. That's exactly what they wanted to do. Whittle him down a little bit, make him second guess if he actually wants to contest this. This is how Tarzan likes to control this part of the game as the jungler. He's going to pretty much easily get this, uses the retribution to secure the first turtle of the game.
Objective-wise, Saudi Arabia has eyes on the first objective, having the magic shoes present for 𝐈𝐿. Instead of opting for the enchanted talisman first, he wanted to go for a bit of a greater rotation, but instead, he wanted the cooldown being prioritized on his skill set. That is the spam, that is the dash, that is the way of stealing. Oh, so close! Yeah, going back to the thought, 𝐈𝐿 though, he's prioritizing on the cooldown. He wants to poke, he wants to spam. Meanwhile, up top, 𝐈𝐄𝐿.
This is bad.
Here we go again.
𝐈𝐄𝐿 gonna flicker out. Is that enough to get the kill? I don't think it was. So stays alive a little bit longer. Neither team getting the first blood just yet. Sanji hungry for that first blood in this XP lane. Put some pressure here. Cannon should just be fine. He's going to go ahead and regen that back up.
Well, now with the Brody here having a good amount of an XP, level 5, same with Lark, but not being depending on the items, just scaling with damage. I think the Brody alone is enough of a marksman to pick off in, well, penetrate backline of Saudi Arabia, because knowing that there is a Shredder, possibly a threat imminent on the late game for Saudi Arabia, that's where the things that they wanted to build up for. Would they give the kills on to Lark, or will they give it to Sanji?
Okay, they're going to go once again. The onward goes. 𝐈𝐿 could be in trouble. Feathered Airstrike going to fall too. Bloody Hunt right on the target. Tarzan zoning them out. They have to flicker out to stay alive for a little bit longer. Couple hits away. 2 fall for Philippines. Saudi Arabia on the board. They're still going for it. It's a trade though. The 1-for-2. Big hook into the turret, and that's going to be a kill. It's a double for 𝐈𝐄𝐿.
There you go. A hook and a flicker. Right on point with the trade. They took down one 𝐈𝐄𝐿 fall down, but that way they had a way to shut down Tarzan by just being engaging from that imminent skirmish. The Thrall though, having the first death.
So, 𝐈𝐄𝐿, 2 early kills, 4.5 minutes in. That is not very good in the gold for gold lane matchup for Saudi Arabia. You gotta keep an eye on him. You can't let that get crazy, because we've seen what happens with Brodies when they get these leads. Now look at the dominance. Iron Hook and land with the Bloody Hunt. That's an easy kill. Troll will fall. Still going to be going with Last Insanity. Penalty zone right on top of 𝐈𝐿. He has to escape. 𝐈𝐿 able to get the kill he's looking for. 3 fall for Saudi Arabia. Now on the run. Only Unigo went down, sacrificing himself there. Even Stevens for the Turtles as well. The 1-for-1, but now the turret going to be worked on here in the mid lane.
That is the dive advantage of an 𝐈𝐄𝐅. Cannon picked up the immortality right away. You know how he can easily be poked down with the hits of a Valentina. Maintaining that Fragile armor and having a chance of life again with the immortality is a great advantage and confidence for Team Philippines to even have a great setup. They have taken the turtle, and mostly the burst coming from the last Insanity is becoming a problem now for Saudi Arabia. How do they pick up something like that if the button of the ultimate has been activated, right?
Yeah, and not only that too, but they're giving it a go once again, right under the turret, a little bit risky, but they go in for the kill anyway. 𝐈𝐄𝐄𝐅 along with the team, it'll be the 1-for-1 trade. 𝐈𝐄𝐄𝐅 just going every time, like, he's like, I got the focusing mark, I'm gonna go in with the Bloody Hunt, find a lockdown, and give you guys a kill. That's kind of his assignment right now, and he's doing it, right? 𝐈𝐄𝐄𝐅, by the way, too, did just recently pick up the Malefic Roar on this Brody. So he's got 2 now. Damage department is great. Look at this, he's fully stacked. This is gonna be a kill, right? Oh my goodness, Sanji.
Sustained.
Able to survive.
He lives. He lives.
As I was talking about the Malefic Roar. It's not enough yet, okay.
He has warrior boots though, maintaining and they just deflect a bit of the damage. So Spell Vamp is still used and being, again, eminent for this Terizla. Has a way of sustaining that, but if the threat now continues to grow for 𝐈𝐄𝐄𝐅, he had an early pick with that Malefic Roar, and with that, aided with Blade of Heptasis becoming a danger.
That's
a walking winning condition for Philippines right now.
That's right.
Saudi Arabia might be pushed to answer with defensive items. Do you see 𝐈𝐄𝐄𝐅 here? Will this be a big of a difference for damage or even
oh my goodness,
wow,
Tarzan. Smooth. Just rolls in, literally. Retries that away from the hands of Philippines. That's a great step in the right direction, right? If that's what you can do to secure your second turtle, go for it.
Wow. He was just rolling. He was just checking.
Literally.
He's just checking more of the vision.
Who needs vision when you can do that?
Having the precise damage with his own retribution. Looking at the items right here. Steel-like plates, you have Molten Essence for this box. Enough for him to sustain. And mostly, he has more utilization of his own ultimate. Turkish Precise right now is so effective.
Okay, they're going to be in trouble here. Once again, the flicker comes through. Troll not able to find the connection. Still gets to the toss-up. Look at the backside. Cannon with the last Insanity. Meanwhile, they're still going to be going. Cuffin with his own, forcing the Philippines back here. But 𝐈𝐄𝐄𝐅 unleashing with the torn apart memory. Able to find Troll. They want more here. They're going to put pressure on this turret. It finally falls. 𝐈𝐄𝐄 trying to line up a hook. Will he be able to grab anybody? He does not find the connection.
Well, speaking of connection, that is just true. Damage connection for 𝐈𝐄𝐄𝐅. Getting the warrior boots just now. Enough damage penetration, enough build. Oh, that's your seal though.
Okay, Cannon gonna go in once again with the last Insanity. Forcing him back. There's a feathered airstrike to Sanji. In trouble. Couple hits away. He goes down once again by 𝐈𝐄𝐄𝐅. 5-0-3 now. Absolutely massive here on the Brody. All this leading to the transition. This is what I was talking about, ladies and gentlemen, that Saudi Arabia had to figure out. Early game was pretty good for both games now. Mid-game to the late game transition is where they have to match the macro play from the Philippines. And it's starting to slip out of their hands once again, like it did in game 1.
How do they handle this amount of damage from Philippines? Let's take a look on the defensive side of Saudi Arabia. Looking at Edith right now, he has the steel-like plates and also carry. But to look up more on damage deflection that has of Terizla, he only has the 𝐈𝐄𝐄𝐅. Just by being in front of Philippines right now could actually mean a pick-off for this team to actually take you down and have a team fight follow-up once you either not commit to that invade.
Once again, look at the positioning. Both teams here setting up first Lord of the game. Either team that grabs this will actually be able to make quite a bit of play on the map in terms of space. You can see them taking their time with this. 𝐈𝐄𝐄 checking the bush there with the Iron Hook. Not going to be able to find a connection. Still working on this Lord here. If Tarzan did what he did before the last turtle, that's all he needs to do. His team's relying on him. They also wait for their own conceal play if they can find it. 𝐈𝐄𝐄 going to drive him back a little bit, forcing this maneuver. Can he get it through? There's the conceal from Troll, looking for his own angle. 1/4 health on the Lord. They got to focus that down. Hook not going to land here. Penalty zone, finding the mark. 𝐈𝐄𝐄 in trouble. Gets the Lord, though. Can they withstand the onslaught? Lark in the backside, able to get a kill. 𝐈𝐄𝐄𝐅 goes down. Total Par memory to follow up. They're going to chase them back here. 2 fall for Saudi Arabia. Philippines on the hunt. 𝐈𝐄𝐄𝐅 gets the marks off and a kill. Flickers out defensively on top of it, securing them the win there in the trade.
𝐈𝐄𝐄𝐅 with the right target, taking down Tarzan, the taunt. Let's go back on this replay. This was the take, this was the call of the conceal coming from Saudi Arabia. Looking back on this moment, 𝐈𝐄𝐄𝐅 was in a concealed state, had a chance to bite down one, and that was Tarzan, the first one to fall down, and that was Troll. There was no knockup, there was no Onward, even Primal Wrath to answer. 𝐶uffin was forced to respond with the feathered airstrike that he took from 𝐼𝐄𝐄𝐅. Defensively, they were forced back to the base, and that was Philippines clearly winning that objective fight.
And with that, they've garnered themselves a huge gold lead once again at this point, 11 minutes into the game. This is usually the time frame where they really shine. They've ended games this early on too on the first lord of the game. They're going to press the situation again. That was a hook landing plus the bunny hunt. Tarzan in trouble, has the immortality, trying to buy time here, and he's still going to be going. Finally falls, now Troll the next target. Can he stay alive a little bit longer? Gets pulled back to the team. Double kill for 𝐸𝐄𝐄𝐅, 9-0-3. What is the answer here from Saudi Arabia? They hold on, they lose that turret at the bottom lane.
What is the answer? Defense could be the solution. Immortality is only one defensive tool here, but the base is too open for Philippines right now. And the ball!
Another hook gonna land on Sanji, plus the turret. The threat there with the feathered airstrike. They're looking to close out the game here in a sweep, claiming their first position in the grand final. Looks like they're going to do it. Philippines, in quick fashion, 12 minutes in, will claim their spot in the grand final tomorrow.